What's up, YouTube? Back with another. We just got the joint, we just got the paper today. I'm out of blunt wraps. I just wanted to talk today about authenticity. For a long time in my life, people are like, just be yourself, just be yourself, just be yourself, just be yourself, and it'll happen. And I didn't even know how to be myself. Like, I didn't even know who myself was. So I was like, instead of like, the thought of being myself was that even hard to fathom, like, because I didn't know myself that much, that it was easier to just go and try and be something else again instead of trying to discover myself. So for many years I was trying to be something, but it was never authentic. Even when it was a good idea, the character I was trying to be was still positive. It wasn't authentic. So I want to talk today about authenticity and how long I spent in my life not being authentic, and the kind of life I attracted doing that compared to the life that I have now since I've been on an authentic journey. I come up with a quote. It's a bit of this, a bit of that from other quotes, but it's once you are completely honest and authentic, but once you are completely authentic and honest with yourself, the real adventure begins. And it's true. It's almost like it's all real, but it's almost like every adventure you took upon was never really the real you. Okay, so like I said, I was lost for a long time, not knowing who I was. Somehow, at some stage in our lives, this is where I think it starts. I'm going to spark this joint. But at some stage in our lives, or I think at all of us, right? It's got to be all of us. It'd be hard to go through life without this happening, but at some point in our lives, we get told, or it's implied, that who we are isn't good enough, or it's not wanted. Now, is it a good or bad thing? Who knows? You're probably just being annoying and someone told you that, fuck off, you're annoying, and you're like, ooh, this person doesn't like me. When I'm being myself, I won't be myself. And I think that's where it stems. And like, some people, most of us, including myself, believe it. We believe this person's perception of us. And then, because we all want to be accepted into society as someone likable, we start changing all these things about ourselves. And then before we know it, we've changed that much that we don't even know where to begin to find ourselves again. And I'd say I hit that by the time I was 18. And by the time I wanted to be authentic, the idea of it to come back into my life, I was probably 25, and it's taken me a couple of relationships and a lot of loss and heartbreak and good times and bad times for me to really bite the bullet and say, righto, nothing's more important in my life right now than finding out who I am, who I really am. And not just that, I'm going to unapologetically express who I really am, regardless of who that keeps or pushes away in my life. Because you've pushed yourself away for that long that after a bit nothing becomes more important to you than getting that self back. And once you've gotten the self back, the real self, the true self that is authentic, once you've gotten that back, you won't lose it for no one. Because you'll realise how much you miss that person, that true self. It's like running into an old friend again. Your best friend. Your one friend that understood you. Your only friend. That's what it's like. And it really doesn't matter who you lose when you got that person, you know? It's like none of these other people in your life have ever understood you like him, like the self. So the journey of authenticity, it took me a breakup. So it took me chasing a girl for 6 years. Which, this is the thing, the more you chase, like the more you go in that direction of changing yourself in order for people to stick around. The more you go in that direction, the more of yourself you lose until there's nothing left, or there's not much left. And when there's not much of you left, you don't even know what you're capable of. That's when you don't know yourself and you've lost yourself. Who is it? You don't know. It's not you that's there. You don't know that person, so they can do some pretty bad things, and then you end up living a life of regret from all these things that you did when you were lost. So it's a very dangerous place to be in. For me, I crossed the line of morals when I chased this woman so long and didn't feel appreciated and just didn't love myself enough to walk away, that I ended up cheating on her. It's the only woman I've ever cheated on. And it scarred me that bad in myself that I crossed that line and I become basically, in my eyes, if you can betray someone that loves you, no matter how much you're different, if they love you and they're putting their love and trust into you and you betray that, you're worse than all of it. You're worse than the killers. You're like one above the devil himself, if you can do that. And I did it. So that was a very low point, and that was a point where I admitted it to that girl, and she broke up with me, and she left me. And I tried to get back with her even after I cheated on her, until I realised that I wasn't actually in love with her. I wasn't trying to get back with her. I was trying to prove to myself that I wasn't that monster. But there was no way of proving that, no matter what I did. So eventually I had to accept that I became a monster. Because I lost myself and I didn't know who the fuck I was, and I couldn't. And then I decided that if to hurt someone like that again would be the worst thing ever. So that was, and becoming the monster. And I knew I was a good person. I was a good person. I am a good person. I knew that, and I wanted to get back to that more than anything. And I never wanted to hurt anyone ever again. So I made it my priority to find myself, put everything aside. I put my career aside. I've now, after being a full-time single father for the last 5 years, my daughter's 10, I've now given her back to her mum so I can just, focus on myself. But in that 2 years since breaking up with my last partner, in that 2 years since of chasing this authenticity, it's taken a long time. It's so funny, you don't even know where to start. That's how daunting it is. You don't even know where to start. But if as long as you set that intention and you do the right things by yourself, it'll slowly come through. Clear your mind a bit, go on mountain walks and all that sort of stuff. Anything that clears the mind, and it'll slowly come through yourself of what you want to do. Just start doing things. A good way is to think about what you used to love as a kid. Now, I was a tree climber, man. I climbed trees like all day in the trees. I was treasure hunting. you know, like just going on adventures, explore like an explorer personality, curious, you know, that sort of shit. And I stopped doing all that to keep up with all these other people. And I realised, you know what, I'm going back to do the things that made me happy when I was a kid. That's what I did in the last 2 years. I went hiking again. I went, you know, just got lost in the bush again, you know. Went to festivals by myself, you know, and just did a lot of things by myself and really figured out who I was, and it shook a lot of people away from me. But 2 years later now, excuse me. 2 years later, and I've attracted people that are left in my life understand me to a T. Like, not to a T, but they understand me to the point where I can at least express myself and not feel judged or feel inadequate. You know, they understand because I'm different. Everyone's different, but they're the same strange. Let's just say that. Everyone's strange. I've found the same strange as me. And not the strange that I want to be. You know, that's different. You know, we all want to be this thing that we think we want, but we don't actually know what we want. We just got to be authentic, and it shows us what we want. When we're authentic, we're like, I've met a girl now, the most girl I've ever been attracted to, looks wise, you know. As a person, it's just like pure electricity. It's just like it's an intense adventure with this girl, something I've been chasing my whole life. But I never would have found that, not even close, if I didn't just start doing my own thing, my own authentic stuff that I like to do, you know, not worrying about anything else. And it is true what they say, like, I was completely not looking for that. I just figured myself out, you know, like, it'd probably been 6 months that I had been mentally let go of a lot of shit. You know, I mentally let go of a lot of stuff, and I was completely authentic and on my own journey and loving myself, who I was, and still am, and it was absolutely unreal. I was having a good life, my life was great, and then bang, I meet this girl. I was not looking for that. I was actually enjoying not playing women, because my whole life I lied and bullshitted to women in some sort of way to sort of get like a bit of not an upper hand, yeah, I guess an upper hand on them. And I was enjoying meeting women and being completely honest, and I didn't see a future with a lot of these women in the last 6 to 8 months, you know, and I was just telling them that, but it was still friendship there, and that was good. It was good to just be completely honest, and I had nothing to hide with these women, and it was all honest and authentic. The first time I could just relax and be myself, and they loved it. And then, so I wasn't looking for anything, just my honest self. And then I find this girl, yeah, and you could not be any more of a perfect match. I could not admire and respect someone more, and I don't want to talk love yet, because it hasn't been very long, but fuck, when you feel it, you feel it, you know what I mean? And it is what it is. Like, there's a lot of love there, a lot of intense affection and respect, you know, and admiration for each other, and understanding and non-judgment, like all the things I've always wanted. You know, I often get, when there's judgment and stuff in relationships, I often get overwhelmed, and and can lash out and stuff, you know, and just to not be judged for anything is different, and it's really good. And yeah, that's what the authentic journey can attract for you. And it's not just in those relationships, it's in every relationship. It's in the relationship with my daughter. You know, it's I'm authentic now to the point where when I'm angry, I just got to say it. You know, like I used to hold it in and then end up lashing out at something that I wasn't even angry about, and the people who I'd lash out at would be tripping, like I'm angry, like this guy's fucking nutcase. Really, something else upset me that I just couldn't express because I wasn't authentic. But now when something upsets me, like, come on, man, I'm a human. I'm authentic. I'm upset. Mate, what you're doing is upsetting me, and that's okay. Like, it's okay to be upset. You don't have to be. It's part of your authenticity. I'm not saying you got to go off with them and fucking lose your shit at them, you know, because that ain't authentic. But just tell them. There's lots of different ways and aspects of your life to be authentic in your job. But it's kind of like it's like any skill, authenticity. It's like, you know, you got to figure it out, and especially if you've never been it, you got to figure it out, and then you got to keep it up constantly. Like, you know, you can slip out of it and or catch yourself, like, you know, you can catch yourself not being authentic, and you got to be like, all right, hang on a minute. And it's a constant state of awareness. Like, you got to be aware of how you're acting. I think above all, awareness is key. When you're aware of, like, that's with any problem with authenticity, anger, any problem, like, awareness is key. You got to be aware of how you're acting. And the good thing is, even awareness is like something that you can build up. I've done it in many aspects of my life. Built up awareness to certain areas to improve on them, you know. Takes time, but bit by bit you can build it like anything. So yeah, it's a beautiful rainy day here in Gympie, southeast Queensland, Australia. I should be at work today. It's a Monday because I'm a roofer. Kind of counts us out.